Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Between the Notes. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm up here at the real piano. Normally I'm downstairs in the studio where I have a keyboard and a computer and we use those sounds. But this particular song I'm going to highlight is a song called Redemption, and I wrote it for piano. But I didn't really write it just for the piano. If you saw my teaser from last week, I said we were going to talk about orchestrating, or composing for solo piano as an orchestra, something like that. And what I meant by that is I've always looked at a piano as not just black and white notes making piano sounds, but a myriad of colors that you can make by using a piano. This particular song, Redemption, I wrote specifically for an orchestra inside of the piano. And I'll demonstrate a little bit of what I mean by that. But first let me tell you about let's talk about the music orchestration first, and then I'll tell you about the inspiration for the song before I play the song. So what I meant by orchestrating for the piano, the beginning of this song starts with a simple statement. If I just played the notes, it'd be like this. All right, those are three chords. But the way that I orchestrated it in my head, and it's a little harder to do on this small Yamaha, but when I play in the studio, I've got this Fazioli, this 10-foot 4 Fazioli with a fourth pedal that allows me to change the colors of the piano quite a bit. But let me demonstrate. So in my mind, I'm thinking of this like woodwinds and a few strings playing this opening little chord. Then I'm thinking of sul tasto, or muted strings, for the next chord. Then the next part of the woodwinds again. The strings again. Back to the woodwinds. Now we're going to turn it around here. So in this section, in my mind, I was thinking I'm going to have French horns, bass clarinet, bassoon, but played on a piano for the first chord, and then the woodwinds up high. So it'll be like strong, soft winds. La, da, 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 da. Now everybody. Builds, the whole orchestra in my brain is building. And over here, that now I've got trumpets, French horns, and the orchestra going. So as I'm writing, I'm actually not thinking of piano, I'm thinking of colors. And this particular song uses a lot of different colors. There's a place in the song, I wrote the song, and I'll talk about the inspiration in a second, but I wrote the song about traveling to a lake, and it's a glacier lake. So in the piece, after we have this initial section, I get to a real icy section. I just wanted little icy chords to sound. So I wrote it this way, and I wrote with kind of complex chords that are kind of hard to tell. Is it major, minor, what is it? They're just little icy kind of chords. Let's see if I can play this thing. So these are little like ice crystals, little ice drops, because there was an avalanche. It was up at a place called Avalanche Lake, and there's actually snow and this freezing cold water because I stuck my foot in it. And here's another example of, so I've got the little icy chords. Now I'm going to have low violas in my mind, violas and cellos playing the theme again. They're going to play that while I have the icy chords, which would probably be maybe strings with a little tremolo. Maybe it's playing sul tasto, which is up on the fingerboard, or maybe sul ponticello, which is over on the kind of what they say, the ugly side of the bridge, but to get kind of an icy sound. I don't know, I'll never hear this with orchestra because again, I'm orchestrating for the piano orchestra. But this is that section. It would be like this. After I played the little icy section, see how I've got almost like two different groups of people say, bum, 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 dee, da, 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 bum, bum, bum. That's what I mean by orchestration. I even, when I'm writing, I'm oftentimes using counterpoint a lot. Counterpoint, for those of you that never took that class in college, it's exactly what it says. You've got a theme and then you've got a counter theme, and oftentimes they play against each other. You hear it a lot when you hear fugues written by Bach and so forth. I have a section in the song where it's a kind of a big section where I've got the theme playing. So you hear these big, huge kind of chords, and then you've got this little counter melody that goes. It's not really a melody, but a little downward thing. So you hear this big melody here going, and then listen to the counterpoint. See how it's like people talking to each other. Hey, I'm over here. I'm talking to you. Oh, yes, I know. Anyway, that's kind of how I write. I'm always thinking of voices. I'm not just thinking of black and white notes. The song, so let me tell you about the inspiration for the song, and then I don't think I'll play it for you on the piano. I think I'll use the recording and have you follow along with the music. That way there won't be any mistakes. But secondly, it'll sound pretty good, but it'll let you hone in on the music, the sheet music that you're watching, as well as hearing these different colors and orchestrations that I talked about. So the inspiration behind the song, I was in a pretty rough time in my life, going through a lot of really like dark things and depressing things that really kind of made it hard to be creative. And I didn't feel like there was anything really beautiful out there. I got in my car, I drove north, I didn't even know where, just north. And I got up to Glacier National Monument, and there I decided to take a hike. It's to a place called Avalanche Lake. Never heard of it, never saw it, but I thought, I'm gonna hike. And I was just hiking along with my thoughts. So the beginning of the song, you'll hear the music sound as if it's starting and as if it's going up, and you don't really know what you're gonna discover. And then we get to that little icy section that I played before, and that represents me discovering this icy lake. And then that builds because behind the lake was the majesty of this massive mountain. I don't know the name of it, but look it up on your GPS. It's right by Avalanche Lake, a big, huge mountain. And so the song's called Redemption because during this really tough time, I was able to, because of nature and thinking of it musically, I was able to kind of get redemption. The very last part of the song, you're going to hear it kind of retrograde from the beginning. The beginning kind of goes up, the back section kind of goes down, and I remember walking away from the lake, and every once in a while I turn around, I look, and just make sure that I remembered it. And anyway, that's the inspiration for the song. I hope the music counterpoint and orchestration lesson for piano wasn't too dry and boring, but I thought it'd be interesting to let you know that I don't think of music just as notes and chords and rhythms, but I think of it as colors. People say that my music is hard to play sometimes. This one is a little harder, but some of the stuff I look at, I think that's not really hard. That's like intermediate. But I think the hard part is that I like leaving space in my music to hear between the notes. When I was a kid, I used to sit at the piano and I'd play a chord and I'd put my head right here and I'd listen to what was going on. I didn't know it was the overtones. I didn't know what was going on, but I know that I used to like that. Then I'd play another chord and stick my head in and listen to it. I sound like I'm kind of weird when I say that. Anyway, I think that's why I like having space between the notes. Sometimes in my music, I'll just play a little thing like that. let that sit, resonate before getting on to what it's on. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this tune. It's called Redemption from my Outside the Lines. Actually, no, it was from an album I didn't really even release called A Life Composed. But it's available. You can get it on YouTube, Spotify. It's free for the whole world to listen, to stream. Anyway, so enjoy, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.